In New Delhi today, you've seen the auto giants converge for the annual Siam convention. The biggest talking point, of course, has been how Motown is in the slow lane. Government stimulus is still needed a lot more, how the consumers are just not buying cars, and a whole host of problems that have been listed out. They should be envious of what's happening in the resale market. OLX, for example, is talking about a booming car resale business. CarDekho is no different. So I traveled to Gurgaon to sit down with the co-founder of CarDekho to find out what exactly is it that consumers want? Why is it that the car resale market is doing so well? And of course, to get a glimpse into what personal mobility is going to look like in the near future. Hello and welcome to Startup Central. I'm Nayantara Rai. Today, I'm coming to you from the CarDekho headquarters in Gurgaon. It was started by two brothers, the Jain brothers, out of a garage in Jaipur. It has now grown to be a large company with offices in more than 18 cities, 4,500 employees. Joining me now, one of the co-founders, Amit Jain. Hi, Amit.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being a part of Startup Central. I'm going to begin by asking you, is there a slowdown in the auto market or not?
So there is a bit of slowdown, but a lot of it is also accounted for other factors in my opinion. So there are 2-3 factors which are majorly causing the slowdown. One is the fleet supply to Ola and Uber has slowed down. That is causing almost around a 15% slowdown because it's already oversupplied. Then BS6 is about to come up and you won't be able to register any vehicle from 1 April 2020. People have to now plan for a 3-month production cycle, right? They have to take hits right now to plan for a completely BS6 compliant fleet. So that's also, kind of visible. And then there are some new technology cars which are quite value for money. So a lot of bookings that side. So the demand kind of shifted towards bookings of those cars also. There is a slowdown a bit. From an online perspective, we are seeing a very little passenger demand slowdown. It's not like major. So our registration and traffic doesn't seem to have taken that much a hit. It has definitely taken a hit, but not as large as the sales slump for sure.
So would you say the second-hand market is obviously doing much better?
Oh, totally. We see a lot of demand increase on the used car side. And with the norms on new car side, I think some passenger demand is also shifting to the used car because of all the new car is getting more expensive with insurance norms, and the BS6 will make the cars a little more expensive. So people are actually shifting towards the used car a bit also.
So have you done any math for us? You're saying, yeah, there's a slowdown, there's not that much of a slowdown. I did an interview with the Maruti chairman, Mr. R.C. Bhargav. Look at what Pavan Goenka, M&M, has been saying. I'm not singling out companies, they're just recent interviews, but you're painting a slightly different picture.
So I'm definitely painting a slightly different picture from a perspective of passenger vehicle demand. So of course, the slowdown is observed when car manufacturing is obviously slowed down. If the fleet supply is slowed down, obviously the whole industry takes a hit. And if 10-15% of the supply was to these fleet owners, then of course you'll feel a slowdown as a manufacturer. But from a consumer demand perspective, I think people are buying for cars still. We see a lot of demand online. It's not like we are seeing a massive slowdown there.
No, have you shown any growth? Or you're just happy that it's not such a big slowdown?
No, I don't think we are. So as an online player, there's a lot of scope to grow. So we are growing right now. We are actually on a upward curve, I'll be honest.
Tell us how fast you're growing. I think it was like last September this entire slowdown started after INFS. How is it been for CarDekho's business?
The CarDekho has grown 100% frankly quarter over this quarter that just went by and last quarter same year we grew by 100%.
Okay.
So in all fairness, I mean we are seeing a phenomenal time. But we have many business lines. We have finance, insurance.
Yes.
We have got other lines which is helping company grow. In new cars as a segment, also we grew around a 40-50% on a very large base. So from an online perspective, there is a room to grow for a reason, right? Because in all manufacturers spending digital money now more. It's more effective. It's more performance oriented. You get better value for money. With people switching on to digital media more than television sets, a lot of money is moving this side. A lot of newspaper money is moving digital. So we are definitely in a great mood in terms of how digital economy is shaping up.
Okay.
Having said that, of course, I seriously see a 10% slowdown on the passenger side, not like a 30. But a 10 is definitely being observed by us also. Having said that, that should recover. We are seeing patterns of recovery already online in terms of the registrations going up. So I'm hoping for a good season that comes by for manufacturers and us as the industry.
So tell me something, we've heard about it, the MG Hector, the new Kia car that has to come out, the new Hyundai car. What has that meant for your business?
Look, all these cars coming in meant a wave of technology coming in, and these cars are more about experience as opposed to the previous vehicles which were not as technology heavy. And the millennial obviously wants technology, and that's how I am seeing this new phase of cars. It's gonna be much more value for money for our consumers, and it's gonna offer you a better buck for money. Given the fact that all these cars that you just mentioned are on waiting and massive waiting, despite industry slowdown, clearly reflects the demand is obviously there for good value for money cars.
So is it a rejection maybe for the older cars because they've not upgraded? And the prices maybe because these are also all competitively
I think
priced.
it would lead to some price corrections maybe because or the current cars will have to adopt to newer technologies also, right?
Okay.
And a lot of foreign technologies now coming in, a lot of foreign manufacturers coming in with great technology. So that would force our Indian bulk.
Yeah.
This happened earlier also, by the way. If you remember, there was an era of change on Maruti cars. From the stylish cars came, the Nexa cars came. So we saw change in complete Maruti.
The Gypsy might be back.
Exactly, right? I mean, it's been a cycle, right? And I love the fact that as a consumer, I get more value for money now.
Yeah, yeah. So do you want to also tell me about this entire Supreme Court verdict? The 15-year rule for petrol cars, the 10-year rules for diesel cars. That hasn't hurt the reuse market. Why is that?
Actually, these cars now don't go in metros. They go off into the other cities. So that penetration happens on the other tier 3, tier 4 towns also, right? There is a segment of buyers that's emerging there also.
We've been hearing our Audi cars, Mercedes are being sort of a 1 lakh, 2 lakhs.
So yeah, that's obviously possible given the age of the car and the maintenance it requires is very heavy. So people, it's not about buying a 1 lakh Audi. It's how much it will cost you to maintain it. The part change is going to be very
Because
expensive.
it is happening, right?
Yeah, it is happening. Look, we have seen cars that have gone, luxury cars that have gone for much lower price.
Less than a lakh also?
No, not less than a lakh. I have not seen a car, unless it's a flood seized vehicle, engine seized vehicle.
Okay.
I have seen that go for that cheap also.
Okay.
Where all the seats are done for and it's more like junk value now.
Okay.
But for a drivable vehicle, look, used cars definitely make more sense, right? From a luxury segment standpoint for many consumers who don't want to, kind of afford the newer one. The price dip after the first year is huge, like 35% you get extra value, right? Cars still the same, very less driven. From a consumer standpoint, we are seeing a lot of demand increase in the luxury segment also.
Okay, okay.
Not only luxury, I would say actually in each segment we are seeing
Can I put you in a
demand.
spot and ask you that if you were to crunch the data that you have on CarDekho, what are the 3 best sellers at the moment?
Look, it's seasonal, I would be honest. There's no one car.
So you're going to be diplomatic?
No, I'm not going to be diplomatic. It's seasonal in the sense that whenever you have a launch, like Hector was a top searched car recently, right? Then you had Seltos, coming in. That was a top searched car. Having said that, whenever a new car comes on a platform, obviously there are a lot of people just seeking information, not really buyers, right? Yeah. CarDekho has a traffic of almost 8 crore a month. So not so many people buy a car.
Okay.
Which means that a lot of people are just seeking information.
So they're seeking information, but if I were to look at for the conversion as well and then ask you what are the 3 best sellers?
I think Maruti cars would obviously top the range. It's similar to the segment sales that you see, frankly. It's no different from that perspective.
Okay. So Maruti is still the...
Maruti is
but it is a 51% market share.
Exactly.
So it's kind of obvious, right?
So obviously, and I see a lot of, most of our leads are Maruti leads, right?
Yeah.
40% of our leads on online segment of total leads is actually Maruti leads.
Okay. So I also want to ask you another question, which is that you brought up millennials. Now apparently millennials don't like owning a thing, whether it's a house or whether it's a car. What does that mean for business?
I think new models of owning would come, and CarDekho would stand for personal mobility as we move on into future. What we aim for is that everybody should be able to drive a car and he should be able to have a short term or a long term kind of a car that he needs. So CarDekho is basically obviously working towards that problem. And we kind of think of it as this, like Ola, Uber are for shared mobility, CarDekho is for personal mobility.
Okay.
And we'll have to come up with more financial innovations to make sure that people are able to own vehicles and not stick to them and they can return back anytime they like. We are working towards those solutions also as a company, frankly. Because we do believe, it has not picked up yet, but it's very soon that where you'll start seeing, people just want a car for a year or 6 months and they want to change faster.
Okay.
They don't want to be married to a car, basically.
Okay.
So we are seeing the millennial trend definitely happening from that perspective, and I'm pretty sure you'll see a very different way of evolution that will happen in the industry. With EVs coming in also, that will have an impact. you'll subscribe EV, for example, right, rather than owning a
Yeah.
vehicle. That's going to
So
happen.
are you already in the subscription business?
So we basically have filed for NBFC license. It requires, financial leasing and other stuff.
Wow, NBS is a dirty word, and these days you are applying for it.
I think it's NBFC is a dirty word if you are not doing it wisely. We'll do it carefully, obviously. It's our first experience where we are actually gonna do lending on our own book, underwriting on our own book. The primary reason for getting into this segment was to enable the ecosystem. We are not going to be playing in the same area which bank does. We're trying to create a different kind of a segment where we want to take a risk on the residual value of the car, because we are used car sellers also.
Yeah.
So the residual value, we will basically keep it aside and we'll make the EMI much lower to own the vehicle, the new vehicle, right? That's the plan. So we are going to come up with very innovative products this year.
Tell me a little bit more. So you're saying you need the NBFC for the subscription model to be a success, clearly.
Yeah.
So by when are you expecting all this?
I'm hoping that by this, in 6 months, we'll have the license on. Having said that, we'll start launching the products starting next quarter, frankly. We'll in pilot modes, where we'll try a low EMI product, where consumers can own a new car at a lower EMI. We'll start seeing that happen OND.
So is the subscription model also going to work where you are perhaps going to be the car rental company, the new age Avis or Hertz?
So that may be evolution. That's not the focus right now. Making you own a vehicle for a longer duration, a 6 month plus is what the idea is.
That's a challenge, making a millennial own a car more than 6 months?
Yeah, I think 1 year, I think he'll definitely love to own a vehicle.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
But then you have to buy it back, right?
Yeah, and that's where our core strength lies, because we are heavy into used car segment, right? We have got CarDekho Gadi stores where we buy the cars from consumers directly on the spot. This edge kind of helps us, get into this dimension also.
Okay. So the insurance business that you have also entered, you started Insurance Dekho. How has that been? And you're really competing with some big players out there, people who've been around for a long time.
I think we're not directly competing them because we are not into the other products. We are primarily focused into auto insurance. And auto for us is bikes, cars, commercial vehicles, right? And we've got
But usually the dealerships also have their own people that they've tied up with. It is a penetrated.
So we have penetrated more into used car dealer segment, for example, because used car dealers do not sell that much volume that they can have a dedicated insurance resource, for example. We're creating an ecosystem around a used car dealer, if you realize, where we help him do insurance, we help him do finance, we help him procure vehicles, we help him sell vehicles. So we are practically like a manufacturer to a used car dealer.
Okay.
We are building that ecosystem and a lock-in around a dealer. And our dealer partner should make profit. That's where we make money. Our consumer should get value on the car they buy. That's a sweet spot CarDekho wants to sit on.
With that, I'm going to wrap up the first part of this interview. And tomorrow on Startup Central, we're going to tell you what the future of personal mobility can be. We'll once again be in conversation with CarDekho.